everybody, it's Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. Coming to you from my little painting corner. Before I get to my little, I actually have a small tiny little tutorial of something, how I do something, but I just wanted to explain where I am and what I'm doing here. Quite a few of you know that I have really gotten into my paint by numbers, my paint by number kits during this crazy situation that we find ourselves in. Here's a couple of them that I have done, my floral. Somebody said, oh, please explain your paint by numbers. I'm like, how do you explain paint by numbers? It's a kit that you paint by number. But I'm really quite enjoying it. It's really lovely. I do have my, again, if you've been following me, you know I have my magnifying glass and my very, very bright light in order to see the numbers here. But I love this, this company here, Masterpiece by Numbers. There's quite a lot of companies, but that's my little thing. I'm doing my paint by numbers. This is about my 10th one. My little flowers here. It's really sweet. But what I have today is I am going to be making, and I've started a couple of baby quilts. You know that we have some babies. Well, we have 5 with my friend Ying, who's had her little twins, Matilda and Margot, and then our 3 daughter-in-laws are expecting, and we know that the 2 of them are expecting girls. So I'm going to be making little baby quilts, but I was going to be putting their names on the quilts, on the top of these quilts. However, I'm just going to do very simple quilts at this point in my life. I'm not going to do anything hard, but I was going to put the names on. Now, I have had in the past, in my other house, I have had an embroidery machine, which is awesome, and you can embroider things, but most of you don't have an embroidery machine to stitch out a name or stitch out letters or a font. So what I have done is I'm just showing you how I do it the really, like, sort of the ghetto way. I get letters onto my quilts. This is an example. This is an example of what I've just done. I've just showed you step by step how, without any pattern, without any extra templates or anything like that you would need, how I got that ABC onto my fabric here. Okay, just an example of an ABC. I will be putting letters, I will be putting the names on our little granddaughters, so far 2 new granddaughters due in the springtime. I'll be putting their names on the top of their quilts. The product that I'm using here, and I show you, says it's permanent, and I explain this. It says it's permanent, but it's also sewable. However, I would think this would only be applicable to, say, a wall hanging, or something, or maybe a little pillow, which would be an awesome present for a new mom, just a pillow that won't get a lot of wear and tear. I think, myself, that you would want to stitch these on. Now that would either require free motion quilting, which some of you are going, I don't know how to do that, or on your machine, once you get to this point, a small little satin stitch. If you're going to be doing it on a quilt that's going to be having to be washed and drug around the ground, I would think that you'd want to stitch them on. Although the product says it's permanent, I've never just not stitch them on. I just always think, well, a glue can fail and the wear and tear in a washing machine. So I can either free motion or in the past I have done a small satin stitch. You could do a blanket stitch, however you want, but they are glued onto the fabric. Again, you don't need anything other than a computer. I've just done a computer, and what I've done is, and I will show you, I've pulled up free. It has to be free vectors. Again, I will show you how I've done that on the computer, because quite a lot of images are copywritten, but you can find free images and you can see on the computer that they are for free. They're for the public, and then you can trace the image onto it. And I show you exactly how I've done that, how you can enlarge or how you can make smaller. And then I show you my process of actually putting it onto the web, which is mirror imaged, so it's a little bit funky. You have to pay attention to get that point, so the fabric is properly onto the background fabric with the glue side down. So that's my little tutorial. For what it's worth, again, a little pillow, a little wall hanging, a pencil case to make something, or whatever to personalize a little present. You can make the letters as big or as large as you want. And again, these free vectors have the entire alphabet and numbers on it. So, you know, you could make a pillow with a beautiful saying on it. I know I have right here, bless this home, different fonts. This is more like an elementary, more of like a bubble letter, but there's different fonts. You're only limited by your imagination and what's on the computer. So I hope you enjoy this. Again, I will be doing my little quilts for our granddaughters coming up and our little friends. And yeah, it makes a nice little personalized gift. So again, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you're all well. It's bitter cold here, and we are expecting snow a little bit later. We're in Pennsylvania. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. And as always, love from the Trueloves. I hope you enjoy this. Bye. My computer, and what I've done in order to get letters, what I have done is I have typed in, I'm on Google, whatever your search engine is, free alphabet vector. Okay, when you type that in, all of these alphabets, different alphabets, will pop up. Now I have isolated these fonts here. These are royalty-free alphabet vector images and drawings. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this, and it's going to pop up. It's going to come up to, I'm going to scroll down, and I should be able to see it. And it is right here, okay? It's right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and as you can see, it got much larger, okay? Now, if it's not the size, and I quite like this size, but what I'm saying is I quite like that size of the A, B, C, D, E, F. That's about 3.5 inch letters, okay? Now, if your font that you click on isn't big enough, what you can do is you can actually go up to your screen here. I'm not going to do it, but you can go up to your screen, and where your list is over here, you can zoom, make it larger, okay? There's a little 100%. You can make something smaller, your entire screen, something smaller or something larger. You can enlarge that, your screen, to say 150%, 200%, and your images are going to get larger. This one happens to be just a lovely size image for what I want. So say I'm going to be doing my A, B, C's. What I've done is I'll take my, let me just see if I'm in, yeah, I'll take this is a piece of copy paper, and I'm just going to, with a Sharpie, I'm just going to go around the images like that. I'm a little bit of a way here, so it's a little bit funky, but let me just see. I'll clean these edges up. Just getting a general. If I wasn't filming, I don't want I'd be a bit closer here. Okay, so that's my A, B, C. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer my letters onto this product here, okay? And this is called, I got it online, this is called Heat and Bond Light. It's an iron-on adhesive. It's sewable. This is about 17 inches wide by, 5 1/4 yards. And it's great for lightweight fabrics, machine applique, and quilting. It is permanent, okay? There's no steam required, and it's machine washable. Now, it gives you the instructions here for doing it, applique, where you put the whole piece of paper on and do it. But I'm going to be doing these individually, so I'll show you how I do my letters individually, okay? Now, this is just for my letters. this is how the product comes. It's a paper base on this side, and then on the back side it has this glue. Okay, it's a shiny glue side on the back side. Now what I have done though with my letters off of my computer is I've turned it over, and I've actually, with a Sharpie or with a marker, you want some dark marks, I've copied those letters, and now it is backwards. Okay, this product is funky because you have to do it mirror image, which because of my lefts and my rights, sometimes I get confused. I'm going to put my product with the glue side down. Okay, the glue side is down, but the images are reversed. Okay, the glue side is down. So now I'm going to trace on the paper side, on the paper, I'm going to trace these backwards letters. Okay, and you'll understand when I go to adhere them onto my individual fabric patches why I've done it this way. Okay, so the paper is up. I'm writing on the paper, but my letters are backwards. Okay, so I'm just going to trace loosely around these. As you can see here, the way I was doing it, or the way I'm going to be showing you, is I made twice as much work for myself. When you cut out your image here, you could just leave the paper, and then when you adhere it to your fabric, I'm doing this little S. I'm showing you, I cut out the letters. Well, you can do it either way, but this way, just you're cutting out the letters once. The way I did it, I was cutting out the letters twice. So this is just after I was editing this, I realized what I had done sort of wrong. So now I can just cut that S out, and it comes out the proper on this pink fabric here. I'm at my ironing little station here, and I'm very careful that I'm keeping my letters as I cut them, and they are backwards, okay? They are mirror imaged, all right? Now this is the piece of fabric, this black and white dot, that I'm going to be wanting to cut my A, B, and C out of to put onto another piece of fabric, okay? Now, I'm going to turn this over, and this is the wrong side of the fabric, okay? The pretty side of the fabric is down. Now I'm going to take my letters backwards with the paper side up, okay? The glue side down, and with enough room there that I can cut each letter out individually, I'm going to iron these down, okay? The glue side is down. They are mirror image, they're backwards, okay? And I'm just going to adhere them as the manufacturer says, down to the fabric here. I'm going to cut them out of the fabric. Now, as I said, I just made twice the work for me. I could have just done that with a piece of paper attacked and cut them out once, but that's okay. Now, what I have here is I have a piece of fabric, just a little piece of sky fabric, just to show you the actual contrast. And I have my A, my B, and my C, or like whatever letter, whatever name you want. And then I'll just peel the paper off of the back. Here, sometimes you can just get a little pin or squirt, but that peeled off quite well. It has a sticky glue side down, like that. And I can just position these. And again, what a sweet little way to add a name to a quilt with no great big no great big patterns or anything like that. Actually, that C is a little bit wide. Let me just make that a little bit less wide. Yeah, that's better. And then, now remember, this fabric is the fabric side up. This is what's going to show. You just position them like that, and then you just adhere them. Now, the product says that they are permanent, okay? And I must say, for a wall hanging, I think this is the easiest thing to do, to personalize a small wall hanging for a child, or a family name, the surname. Awesome, at the top of a quilt, little wall hanging. And you wouldn't have to, sew them down. They are sewable, obviously. This is just fabric, and I noted that the glue doesn't gum up your needles or anything like that. But as I'm saying, I'm doing this sort of like a wall hanging, or just a small little present for somebody, and you want to put their name on something. That's not going to get a lot of washing. The product says that it is permanent. Now, I personally have always, when I'm using these products, I have always sewn the images down, always. But by all means, the product does say it is permanent. And that is pretty, they are on there really, really well. I'll go back and I'll iron this again. To really, what you're obviously doing is just melting the glue. But anyway, there's just sort of the cliff notes of how I do my letters, how you could personalize something. I'm going to be doing a few baby quilts, like I'm going to say. And yeah, it's a real nice little product, and that really has sort of almost become one with the fabric. But I would go back and I would actually stitch that down. But it's up to you. Or if you didn't have a free motion quilting, you could go along and do a satin stitch right around there, and that would really secure it down for tons of washings. So I hope this is informative, folks, how to get some letters, their name, onto a lovely little quilt. All right, folks. As always, love from the Trueloves. See ya.